Hi everyone, my name is Yu Qie. I chose the movie titled 10 Questions for the Dalai Lama as my final presentation. First off, I will provide a brief discussion on the bibliography and the religious background of the Dalai Lama. Next, I will give examples about the central theme of the film and discuss how the Dalai Lama answers and interprets each question and how the Dalai Lama's interpretations relate to the Four Noble Truths in Buddhism. Lastly, I will mention the most striking moment about the film. I choose the topic because I would like to know more about the Dalai Lama and Buddhism. Born and raised in Tibet as an ordinary monk, I wanted to know why he is considered as one of the most influential people today in the world. Additionally, I would also like to find out how his religious practices and beliefs in Buddhism affect the people in the modern society. Next, the life of the Dalai Lama. Dalai Lama was born in 1935 and he was raised in Tibet. He is from a poor family. He is the fifth child in a family of seven. He is the only one passed the test to prove that he is the affected one. His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama. His studies filled with non-fiction books, quantitative physics, and neurosurgery. Next, I will discuss the background and introduction of the film. The movie 10 Questions for the Dalai Lama is a documentary. It was produced and directed in 2006 by Rick Ray, who had traveled to many different countries and engaged in numerous religious studies around the world. Ricky Ray traveled to Dharamsala, located in northern India, to meet the Dalai Lama. Ray accepted the production of this movie solely because he could have a chance to interview the Dalai Lama. From his perspective, he ranked Dalai Lama like a Gandhi and Martin Luther King as one of the greatest promoters and practitioners of science and peace in a modern society. Next, now I'm going to talk about the central theme of the film. As this film is a documentary, it reflected not just about the political situation of Tibet, but also the life and the spiritual beliefs of the Dalai Lama. Throughout the film, the Dalai Lama answered 10 both interesting and controversial questions in regard to his religious and political beliefs. The question mostly inquire on the Dalai Lama's opinions about the conflict in the world, such as the conflict between Tibet and China, and between question Judaism and Islam, and also what is happiness. Now, I would like to discuss how the Dalai Lama interpret about happiness that relate to the Four Noble Truths in Buddhism. As we learn from the lecture, The Four Noble Truths are: to live is to suffer. Second, suffering comes from desire. Third, to end suffering is to end desire. And lastly, release from suffering is possible. It can be attained by following the Noble Eightfold Path. So from the Dalai Lama, he think happiness is not about how much money a person has. Instead, it is about how much a person is willing to share and how much desire a person is willing to let go. He said, too much greed, limitless desire is the source of suffering. He believes contentment is the solution. So in conclusion, overall, I believe that this film is extremely educative and informative. I gained tremendous understanding on the history and the origin of Buddhism. The most striking moment in the film is when the Dalai Lama mentioned that he is a strong believer. He actually actively conducts independent research to test and verify religious practice. He mentioned that when science contradicted with faith, he would choose science. I really admire his modern beliefs and religious practice. I think that is the main reason why people describe him as a humble Buddhist monk and a rock star of peace. Thank you for listening of my presentation. Thank you.